they are in the Department of Plant Pathology, but they have funding from USDA and from CDFA, and they act like the gatekeepers for anything that comes in from another part of the world that may have viruses or viroids or bacteria that are pathogens to citrus. They actually test them, disease test them, and those that are found to be infected, they use a couple techniques to remove those. Once they are disease tested free of those, then they get certified by the CDFA and by APHIS. And that is where you would buy budwood, or anyone would buy budwood. Then there's the USDA, which is, you see right over there. They have a website too, and this is their GRIN website, which is a little hard to use, but there are links from our website to that one. There's a brand new website called the Hosts and Potential Hosts of Citrus Pests and Diseases that was put together by a taxonomist. And it was just released, and it was developed for people who are going to be inspectors, but it's got very nice pages, and it has really good descriptions of the scientific names if you need to find that. And that's the one right here called Hosts and Potential Hosts. Home Citrus Gardeners is a UK-based website that has things for non-commercial citrus growers, and it is a focus on Australian types if you're particularly interested in that. I'm giving you the Citrus Research Board one website, and the reason I'm giving you that is really good because they now on their website have Citrograph magazine. How many of you know about that? Citrograph. Citrograph used to be published a long time ago. They rebought the name, and you can now get online and actually download these issues, and they're wonderful. They are the results of research that's currently happening in the citrus industry. So it's called Citrograph, and it's on the CRB website. And I've given you both Citrus Industry Volume 1, Chapter 4 and 3. The citrus industry were a series of books that were written, that were published. The most recent edition was published in 1967. I still use Volume 1, Chapter 4, probably every day. And so it's got a lot of valuable information about polymers. And I gave you the link you got sent, the Tried and True and Something New, which we'll talk about some of those today. And finally, Mike Roos's webpage is on the bottom, and it's on new cultivars. He has new mandarins that have been developed. Okay, so should we keep doing this, or are you guys ready to take up? Okay.
Oh, you want to talk about what you got?
Yeah, okay. So I bought these from the other side of the street. It's really, because it really cuts down the time if we end up walking across the street and doing things like that. So what's this?
Lemon.
A lemon? No, it's actually a citron. It's etrog citron. It's a very poor etrog citron. It's one that would not actually pass muster for the Jewish ceremony called sutog. It would not pass muster because it's not perfectly shaped. It has a blemish. It was not grown on its own roots. So it has to, if it's used for that particular Jewish festival, it has to be a very perfect fruit. But citrons are important in a number of ways. We have many different accessions of citrons, but they are used traditionally to make fruitcake fruit. You know that the fruit, those squares that are colored and dyed, that's actually the rind of a citron. And the other thing I wanted to tell you about citrons is that we now know, we originally thought that things like sweet oranges and grapefruits and so forth were actually separate species. But we now know that there were 3 original types. So if you guys can get really close. We now know that there are 3 basic biological species in the subgenus Citrus. Now this is in half the genus. There's one in the other half of the genus that I'll talk about. One is a citron, and that's why I'm showing you a citron. One is a mandarin, and one is a pomelo. So things like sweet oranges are actually very, very ancient pomelo-mandarin hybrids, as are sour oranges. And then they're either crosses or they're back crosses. So a sweet orange crossed with a pomelo resulted in a grapefruit, okay? and a sour orange crossed with a citron resulted in lemons. Although there are back crosses and selections that make all the diversity we're seeing. And then there was something called, citrus, Citrus macranthera, which is in the other subgenus, in the Pepita subgenus. It's in the genus Citrus, but it's in the half of that genus subgenus called Citrus macranthera, and it's thought to be one of the parents with citron for the small acid-fruited limes that you see right here. These are the small limes that look like that are used to make with Coronas and to make.
That's what they were grown for.
Yeah, and as you know, limes start out green, and when limes are fully mature, they are yellow. Okay. Okay, so that's those. I just wanted you to keep that in mind when you're walking around today. Think about the fact that the original three types are a pomelo, a citron, and a mandarin.
Is that your paper available online?
We're working on, we're actually, okay, so
Here,
Paul asked for this fruit display that was done at the UCR Citrus Day, where a woman that works with me, Tony Siebert, who couldn't be here today, actually had laid out a lot of the parentage of a lot of the UCR hybrids on the table with this tree. But she had made the tree by hand. She's in the midst of she's made it on the computer now, and we're turning it into something, possibly an article. Okay. But she's made this giant tree that shows the relationship of a lot of the hybrids. Yeah.
Do all limes turn yellow when they're mature?
Yes.
So the big limes you get in the grocery store that are green are not mature yet?
Not fully mature, but they're, you know, just vesicles are fully mature size, but they then turn yellow. And I didn't bring those, but there are two groups of lime. There are the small fruited limes, and there are the larger limes. So the small fruited limes are seeded, okay? They have seeds. Oh, yeah. The large fruited limes, like bears and Tahiti, are seedless. That's because they have 3 copies of the chromosomes instead of 2, so they can't make seeds, but they actually turn yellow as well. I didn't bring any of those to show, but I did bring some other things. Oh, okay, sure. Did you hear the answer to that question? Do all limes, both the small fruited limes and the large fruited limes, do they turn yellow when they're mature? And the answer is yes.
Hey Tracy, where did Tahiti? How did they get the name Tahiti lime? That come from?
I don't know that one off the top. Do you know how it got called Tahiti lime? Tahitian lime? No idea at all. Okay, so no, I mean there's a lot of different accessions that are the same large fruited one, and you know, like Bears is that, and Bears is the one that you see most often if you see it from the United States.
Bears is the proper name though for the variety.
No, they're all in the same group.
They're different. Okay.
Okay, they're different accessions, slightly different.
Okay.
Bears is a varietal name.
Yeah.
It's a varietal name, not
Tahitian's not a varietal name.
No, it's just a generic name, like saying a mandarin.
But this is, you know, you've seen Buddha's hand, right? Yeah. Ooh. Buddha's hand is a citron too. And the interesting thing is that it actually has no flesh inside at all. It's all peel. However, in China, David Karp, who works with us 30% time, has made a lot of travels to China and has established a citron collection in China and has found a number of selections of Buddha's hand that do have flesh inside and are very different looking.
What do they use those for?
They're used for scenting rooms or for floral decorations. So she asked, what are Buddha's hands used for? They used to scent rooms, floral decorations, and we do have a small industry of them. You can pass it around. Here, pass that around. Okay.
That would be good.
Okay, that's where we're getting to that. I'm working my way down the table. Okay, this is your normal Eureka Lemon that you're used to. This is actually frost. I brought this because that's in that Tried and True and Something New article. So this was the Tried and True. And this is a Eureka selection called Variegated Pink. Variegated Pink Lemon.
Pink lemonade.
Yep. And it's Pink Lemonade. It starts out with stripes like this, and the stripes get less. And when you
Watch.
cut it open, it's pink inside.
Are they sweeter or sour?
No, they're just equally sour. And this is what the leaves look like. And things that have acid in them have pink on the flowers and pink on the new flush of leaves.
That's the case with those. Do you guys want to see that?
Yeah. Okay, so, and this is something I just brought over because it was fun. I was next to the tree. It's called Lumia. My car is named after Lumia. It's not one that's available. But, okay, and then how about...
What is it?
This is...
What is Lumia?
Lumia is a citron hybrid. We don't really know exactly what its parentage are, but it's actually, you can see that it's got citron characteristics because, and it may actually have some pomelo in it too because it has really large rind. And it's squishy rind, which is unlike citrons.
Are they sour too?
Very sour. This is, do you guys know this one? Meyer Lemon. Okay, so it's a lemon-orange hybrid. And now you know that oranges are actually mandarin hybrids, okay? So you now know it's a lot more complex than just saying it's a lemon-orange hybrid. Okay? Okay, this is something, let's pass this one around.
What's the difference between an improved Meyer and a Meyer?
Okay, so the difference is that, okay, so back in the, so I know that back in the 40s or so, 40s, 50s, they established the CCPP. It originally had another name. And before that, there were a lot of trees that were infected with certain things, like CTV. And so when they cleaned Meyer Lemon up, they called instead of, so when they removed the virus from it, and something else too, which I can't, but definitely it's CTV, which is citrus tristeza virus. When they removed it from it, they called the new accessions, the new one that they released, they called it improved. But the only difference is it didn't have the virus. So everything you see out there now is basically improved. So what we've done is taken the name improved off of a lot of things because it's basically Meyer Lemon. When I went to China, it was kind of cool because I walked up to this tree and went, oh, cool, Meyer Lemon. And this Chinese woman said, no. And because in fact, Frank Meyer went over and discovered it in China, but it has its own name. So we have to be aware when we're talking to people that they may know things in a very different way. Okay. Yeah, I was like so excited. No. She was like definitely insulted. Okay. So I'm going to pass this around. Why don't you scratch and sniff this?
Scratch and sniff.
Okay.
What year did they? I mean, I have a 27-year.
Your Meyer was improved where it got cleaned up now. Back in the 50s. Okay.
What are you
so
passing
what's
around?
this that I'm passing around? What was the question?
I said, what were you passing around?
Okay.
Blood orange?
No, this is not a blood orange. We've not gotten to anything sweet yet.
Okay.
Did you guys smell it when I cut it open?
It smelled like three things.
Whoa.
This is bergamot. It's the flavor from green tea. It's when we think of it as a sour orange hybrid, but it's fairly acidic. Do you guys have enough? Do you want to cut some of these? I thought this mill sweet would be cool to.
Oh, isn't that
Yeah, we can do that. You can take it. I was just thinking mill sweet because. Okay, this is.
because it's semi-sweet.
Yeah, mill sweet's cool because it's semi-sweet, which is Givaudan, which is this company I was telling you about that's using the collection to make inspiration for new flavors, has made a flavor based on this, and that's because to them it has a very
Don't worry,
interesting,
there's more where that came from.
very interesting taste below it.
What is it called?
This is called Mill Sweet Limetta.
Oh.
Now, if you know Spanish and you're slightly naughty, it's also Lima Chichona.
Mexico, this is kind of sour. they are bigger. In Mexico,
Yeah,
they are
this is these are smallish. Oh, we have big ones.
Oops,
so sorry.
Things would be bigger just
Oh, I'm
because
sorry.
You're fine.
Here, let me
Sorry.
behind you.
So it doesn't mean
Have you tasted this Byron?
I'm off. No, it's a kind of. The limetta is a sweet.
So what is it a combination of?
This isn't a combination of anything. This is a semi-sweet lemon called mill sweet.
Okay, yeah, amazing. You can eat it like that.
So there's the half of the subgenus that has all the common things that we eat, and then there's the other half that is called the Pepita group that we generally don't eat, but they're the, so this is the leaf blade, okay, and this is the wing, petiole wing. And in Pepita, the half Pepitas, the wing is almost as big or as big as the leaf blade. So, but this is the only one we use commercially to any substantial amount. But the thing is, inside, if you eat the inside, it doesn't taste great at all, but you can use it to make a shampoo that kills head lice and fleas. So, if you can...
Love it. Kaffir lime wheat.
I don't even know.
Okay, so this, someone asked, what is this? Okay, this is finger lime, or Australian finger lime, Microcitrus australasica. And there's been lots of articles about it recently because actually it's Toots who actually started the whole thing. Toots, so she just woke up. So Toots actually said, hey Tracy, isn't this cool? We should do something with this. And so we should release this. You know,
We should have made 1,000 trees before we told
we
anybody.
should But she said, hey, we should do something. So we showed it to some chefs, and we showed it to people. A chef took it to New York, won the James Beard, got to go to James Beard House with that. And David Karp wrote an article about it, and the craze started. And now it got released thanks to Toots, this particular accession. And it is now called by chefs, it's called citrus caviar. And they use the juice vesicles for garnishes on hors d'oeuvres and other things. But the drink industry is starting to use it to take like margarita glasses and you dip them in salt and then you dip them in Australian finger lime.
Are they sour?
Yes, and I'm going to pass them around. We're going to cut. So take a pinch like this. Do this.
They said drinks.
Okay?
Oh.
Okay.
Hey Tracy, after Toots first told me about this finger lime here, and I was teaching a class down in Maricosta, and I said the first commercial grower in California could grow these things and become a millionaire. And well, a couple of years later, a girl came back and said, I've been trying to grow these things and I'm not a millionaire yet, but I got to be careful what I say. But
yeah, there are people, but there are like two major growers. One guy that has 900 trees up in the Central Valley, and he is doing really well.
Is it horrible?
No, it's just a little tart.
oh, that's very tasty.
You have to bite on it to get it, like,
Okay. The thing I want to show you about it, besides getting to taste it, this is what it looks like. Now, when I pass it around, be very careful because the thorns have little tiny hooks on them. I'm constantly digging them out of my hands. So touch it by the bottom there. Okay.
No, thank you.
I'll just look at it.
Wrap it in another piece. I'll wrap it in a little thing. That's a
Okay, he has.
Oh, from the.
He asked a question. Okay.
Everybody get their questions.
Okay. So he asked, how easy is it to grow? And it isn't so easy to grow. It grows really slowly. Actually, Bill Bitters, who was the curator from 1995, from 1946 to 1982. After he retired, he killed several of them before having a success. So they grow very slowly, and you have to have them on the right rootstock. But you can purchase some of these specialty things that are not easily available. They are available through a nursery that is one of the few, is the main retail citrus nursery. In other words, most nurseries citrus nurseries are wholesale businesses, but this one is a retail business, so they make their own trees, and that's Four Winds Growers. And you can buy things online at fourwindsgrowers.com. And the only reason we tell you about a specific one is because there is a need for people to know how to get specialty things, and we want them to get them the right way and not from taking budwood from some neighbor and propagating them and spreading diseases. Okay.
Did you say, where did you say it's from?
F-O-U-R. Australia. Okay, so this thing, have you guys seen this? No, it's not a pepper tree. It's actually a citrus.
That's what I said.
Called Bruguera benigni, and it is curry leaf. People who are of Indian descent often have this growing in their backyard, and the problem is that some of them may have gotten him from a country that where ACP is prevalent or HLB is prevalent, and this is actually a host plant for ACP.
What's ACP?
ACP is Asian citrus psyllid. This is the psyllid that is causing the quarantine issues right now. So, people don't mean to do that, and in fact they may have gotten it from seed and then they're fine. But the problem is we are in the midst. We have a project for the CRB to help to develop a registered source that's been disease tested. So we're about a couple years off from this, but we're getting ready to provide material to nurseries. And this is the project that David Clark has been working on. And then the last thing, so I can let you go off with these other guys, is this thing. So I'll pass one around and feel how hard that is. Okay. So is it really hard to see this? This is another thing that people Hindus use as part of their altar. It's called, this is another citrus relative called bale fruit, or Aigli marmelos. And it has giant thorns as well. B-A-E-L, bale fruit. Okay, so I'm going to get up here and squash this. I'm going to do that. Okay. So it's really hard. But it doesn't have juice vesicles, it has This is bale. This is bale. Okay, this mucilage. And they dig out the inside there, and they mix it with tamarind water. The real hard one. Sugar, and they make a drink.
It's dried out.
Yes. Especially women like, but there are other drinks specific to India, but this is one that's used there. But this, I just wanted you to broaden your idea about what citrus is, and also because this is actually a host plant of Asian citrus psyllid as well, unfortunately. But we're working on getting a disease-tested source of this available to people too. What is it, please? It's called Aigli marmelos. Aigli is its genus. Marmelos is its species. It's commonly called bale. B-A-E-L. No, they use the leaves for curry leaf. And sort of like you would in a bay leaf if you were putting it in a stew or something like that. This is called curry leaf, or it's called Bruguera is its genus. It used to be called Maria.
I don't know if it's related. I'm not related or what.
Okay, yeah, maybe. Okay, no problem. Okay, I think we're ready to go. I think I've kept you here too long. So one other thing, and so you guys, if somebody wanted to start with this, I brought Tango, and we could have everybody.